Welcome to HDPP Live on a Saturday night to the UK and around the world with photos, memories and friends. This is HDPP Live. How are you this evening? Are you all well?
Hinckley District past and present for you, meeting friends old and new. Streaming Wednesdays and Saturdays too, with founder members Paul and Sue. The smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Where local memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Film clips, photos, memories and friends helps a dreary night go by. We're in Hinckley's six of the best, stupendous, quizzical high. The smiles that we bring are a heritage thing. HDPP, keeping history alive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. HDPP, where local memories survive. HDPP, streaming HDPP live. Let's take you back in time. A community affair. We'll take you for a ride. Henson's Cab will take you there. We're making history. HDPP, chapter pauses. History supporting local causes. Streaming HDPP live. Betty is our queen bee. The sweetest honey candy. Dangerous Den here again. HDPP live. Hey, you know we keep it in HDPP.
Oh, they're worth every penny, those guys are. Good evening, hello, welcome. Yeah, come on, let's hear it. I don't mind. Good evening. Welcome to the programme. Oh, it's another Sunday night, isn't it just? It really is. Well, it's been a bit of a busy one in the last hour or so here at HDPP Towers, but sitting down, just had me tea, and I'm just enjoying the best cup of tea in the best type of mug. Available at Jasper's, ladies and gentlemen. HDPP mugs. I thought I've not flashed my mug about for a while, missus, so here it is tonight. Welcome to the programme, here on a Sunday evening, live from good old Blighty in the heart of England. Yes, this is Hinckley District Past and Present Live, and this is what makes it more fun, when it's live. You just don't know what chat I'm going to get going in the chat room there, which you can see on this side of the screen. It really is, that's what's doing it live is much better, you know. And, you know, like when I cock up, I usually cock up big time. And indeed, who knows what might happen tonight. All the regular features in the programme, including six of the best. Tonight, going to be a good one because some of the questions you can't Google. I was telling Jeff Wallace yesterday, I said the best ones are the ones I can't Google, because I know a lot of you go and ask Mr. Google for the answers. You won't be on some of these tonight. Some you will, but we'll see in a few minutes' time. First of all, I'll scroll to the top of the list. And first in was our Annabelle was on duty tonight with a big cooey. So hello, Annabelle. And Pat Galloway also coming in with a big cooey. I said, have you seen the moon tonight? Yeah, here it is. Hang on. See, Just as good as the one that's in the sky outside at the minute, guys. Yes. Anyway, and Queen Bee joins us as well. Hello, Queen Bee. Nice to know you there. David Starnborough's here. Jan Kirby is here. She's getting ready for tomorrow's trip down to Westminster as HDPP starts the revolution. If we get in. So we're looking forward to that. Our day trip down to the Palace of Westminster. Looking forward to it. Should be good. More details on that a bit later on. Hi to Kevin Beasley joining us from Burbage. And David Blow, or David B as he's on here. Good evening, HDPP peers. Yeah, nice to know you there. Hope the internet's not too slow for you this evening. Grandad's here as well. Steve Gardner's here, live from the farm in the middle of nowhere. And David Allen is here too. Wishing everybody a good evening from Boston in Lincolnshire. And why not indeed? Now then, who else has joined us tonight? I did notice a couple of names going in, especially, as I say, Jeff Wallace, because did me a grand little job yesterday. I'm calling him Mr. Wonderful because I give him these tasks and he just does it. I'm in awe of the gentleman. It's an ongoing thing. Basically, he's made me a model signal box, and we just keep adding, or he just keeps adding to it, and it's fantastic. And I'm a bit of an anorak, so all is well. Wonderful. I'd like to also say, I did see right on here somewhere that Alan's here from New Zealand. I know he's here because I've seen it early on. I just can't see it at the moment. However, Alan, thank you for joining us from the other side of the world. Yeah, Alan Slater. Yes, that's it. I knew he was here somewhere. Russett's here as well. Isn't it nice to have Alan back from New Zealand? Yeah. Dangerous Den's here again. And David S. from just up Air 5, not far from Russet, is here. And wishing everybody a good evening to everybody in the room. Kay Norton's here as well. What a lineup you have this evening. What a lineup. So, hope your weekend has been good. Of course, this time next week, Easter Sunday. My word, Easter's here already. But earlier on this evening, just before we get into proceedings, Sue and I went for a quick walk, actually. A bit of HDPP business at the same time. And we just got back and said, just in time for a quick cup of tea and a slice of toast before we started this evening. Good evening to Gary Betterley from France. Yeah. That's about the only bit of French I ever did learn at school. Excuse me, a cup of tea going down. Oh, that was lovely. Right, okay. Dave B saying, if I send an image, will Jeff print it for me, working the box? Don't know. Really? You mean ordinary printing or you mean 3D printing? I mean, I can print that, mate. That's not a problem. The printers I've got here. Anyway, lovely afternoon, as Jan's been saying. It's been great out there. Let's get on with 6 of the best first before we do anything else, because there's some tyres here tonight. Now, make sure you got your pens and paper ready because you're going to need it tonight, okay? And as I said, there are some questions you will not find the answers on Google, I guarantee it. So if you're feeling actually, we do know that Mr. Smuggley's not here. He's over in the States. They're holidaying in the States, you know. So no smuggliness tonight. But if you want to be smuggly, well, you can indeed get your smug powder. And John has got a whole warehouse full of this stuff, as you can tell. And oh no, he's back. Oh, from Florida. He's in. John is in the room. John, yes, he's from Florida. Yeah, John, you see, I'm promoting your smug supplements. So Mr. and Mrs. Smugly are with us this evening. I thought, I know that they were away, but there you go. So get your smug powder because you've got a chance to be more smug than the king of smug. You know how you get the king of swing? Well, John's the king of smug. Yeah. See what his dancing's like in a couple of weeks' time at the disco. That's going to go. By the way, if you haven't got your disco tickets, listen, here's how you do it. Hello, it's Paul Gardner. Just dropped in to tell you about our 60s, 70s disco night, which is happening on Saturday, the 6th of April at the Greyhound in Hinckley. It's only £5, and for that, it's a full-fledged disco from way back when. We'll be dancing around those handbags. We'll be disco dancing. We'll be doing the bump, plenty of Tamla Motown and glam rock. All the stuff we used to do in the 60s and the 70s, all on one very special night. Admission by ticket, just £5. If you'd like your tickets, you can order them from Hinckley District Past and Present by emailing hincleydpp@gmail.com. We hope to see you there. Oh, I do hope so. It's going to be an absolutely great night. Absolutely going to be good. Now, I'm going to say hello to Carol this week because she thought I was ignoring her last week and I didn't see her come in. And she wouldn't laugh. She wouldn't laugh at the end of the programme. So, Carol, good evening. Nice to meet you there, and Dangerous Dan, of course. And people wishing Mr. and Mrs. Smugly, like I say, watching from Typhoon Lagoon. Yeah, absolutely. And apparently it's 3:30 and 28 degrees. Okay, I'm sure it is. Jan Kirby, you sound like Tony Blackburn. Did I ever tell you that, Grid Luke? Tony Blackburn is, well, he is he's a broadcast god, as we would say in the industry, a broadcast god, and he just got his OBE the other day. So well done to Tony Blackburn. Right, time for 6 of the best. Remember, do not put your answers in because people will nick them. Let's see how many you're going to get this week in 6 of the best. Are you all ready? Then here we go. So, I thought I'd test your local knowledge this evening by asking you, besides his practice in church walk, which indeed featured on a picture I posted earlier on today on the group, where in Hinckley did the renowned Dr. Cheshire live? Right? So, you would have seen those old pictures of church walk, and I've often referred to as the doctor's practice, the doctor's house that stood in church walk, where indeed the car park is today. But, of course, that was his practice. But where did he actually live as such? I mean, yes, he'd lived there for a while, but he actually had quite a grand house somewhere in Hinckley. Where was it? A renowned house that's no longer there, but you will remember it. But I'm not going to give anything away just yet, because when I remind you of where that house was, you'll go, oh, yeah, we used to go in there. We used to have to go in there. Yeah. So, where in Hinckley did the renowned Dr. Robert Cheshire live? Besides from his practice on church walk. That is question number 1. You won't find that on Google. Question number 2. You'll probably find this one. Which 5 colours make up the Olympic rings? Which 5 colours make up the Olympic rings? That is your question 2 for general knowledge this evening. Once said, you can Google that one. Yeah, let you off with that one. Now then, find the words. Now, I'll show this again in a few minutes' time, obviously, but there you are. Find the words. This is it. This is an iconic album. Iconic, and do you know, Mrs. G got this. She got it. She said, I think I've got it. She did. She went to quite a funny colour at one stage. But she did. This is a classic, iconic album. I'll go as far as to say the 1970s for you. I will give you that. So you've got to fill in the missing letters to make the words up, and you'll find a iconic album from the 1970s. You can't Google that either. We'll come back to that so you can get all your dashes in the right place. Okay, I'll bring that back in just a few moments' time. Question 4, what year did Southampton beat Man United in the FA Cup final? Bill Grundy, the TV presenter, lost his job after his interview with the Sex Pistols in this year, and John Curry won the men's figure skating gold medal in the Winter Olympics, but what was the year? See, Mr. Smugly's at it already. Got the album. Because I'm working at Mo, but I'm on holiday at the minute. Right, okay then. Right, so there you go. So what is the year? Okay. Oh, look, Pat Galloway. I know number 4. Okay, jolly good. Now, here's one you can't Google. I thought we'd have a change. Rather than do a Where in England, I want you to name these 2 gentlemen who used to be on our screens reading the news as they did, but I want their names. Okay. What is the name of these 2 iconic, well-known, Faces from the past that used to read our news. There. Try Googling that one. I've got it in for Google tonight. So that's number 5. Because with this bit, the pit, you're going, oh, yeah, I remember that. Oh, what was his name? What was his name? Oh, yeah. Exactly. That's what 6 of the best is all about. And the anagram question, which I know David Blower will be waiting for this evening. Chewer Glazer grandson hint rotometer. You try saying that when you've had a few. This is a famous actor and his character. I think you will get that quite well. And while that's going on, by the way, I know that Carol Beasley, and I nearly said Dirty Den, Dangerous Den. I nearly said Dirty Den. I think they've forgiven me for not giving them a name check last week. Sorry. Okay? Really sorry. So there is your anagram. Chewer Glazer grandson, hint rotometer. That's a famous actor and his character. So let's go through the questions one more time. Oh, I've been forgiven. Right, question 1. Besides his practice in Church Walk, where in Hinckley did the renowned Dr. Robert Cheshire live? By John, now you've been got that. He's off to sun himself, look. By now, he comes in, gets the iconic album and clears off again. What sort of a member is that? Anyway, question number 2. Which 5 colours make up the Olympic rings? Which is pretty straightforward there. I'm sure you'll do that. Try and do it without Google, because you do get those extra smug points, as you know. Question 3. Find the words. Gary Betterley, you should know this too. This is an iconic album from the 1970s, and it is iconic. It really is. There it is. Mr. Smuggler's got it. Can you get it? You see, you just don't get that. You just can't find that on Google. So there we go. We're trying to find an iconic album from the 1970s. I've got it here at home. That's how iconic it is. Okay, then. Moving on to question number 4. What year did Southampton beat Man United in the cup final? Bill Grundy lost his job after interviewing the Sex Pistols. We've all seen that trailer we've all seen that bit on the TV. And John Curry won the men's figure skating gold medal in the Winter Olympics. What year was that? Famous faces, or guess the mugshot, I don't know. These 2 gentlemen used to read the news. Yes, that's true, but what were their names? Oh, you see, you can't Google that. What were their names? 2 very famous gentlemen. Sadly, both of them no longer with us, by the way. But great stuff, yeah. Elaine Galloway, I seen you come creeping in. Come and sit here at the front so I can keep an eye on you. Yeah, right. And your anagram question. Chewer Glazer grandson, hint rotometer. If you rearrange that, you'll find a famous actor and his character that is well known for. Jan Kirby, could you please repeat question 3, please? There's always one that wants to do it all. You want question 3 again? Things I have to do. There. Find the words to this the title of an iconic album, Jan. Yes, Elaine, sit there and I'll speak to you after the show, okay? Jeff Wallace says that Anna got the wordy one. Well done, Anna, you see. She's not as dumb as I look, is she? Wow. Okay. Good. That's all going pretty well. Okay, so that's where we're to. I've got to make sure now I'll go back to the beginning and leave it there, ready for when we recap the questions after we've had a feature this evening. There's no London calling this week. I thought I'd save a few more of them for later. However, as we go through doing these things, we always tend, we end up repeating stuff as we have before. Now, last week, we gave you the chance to view Wonderful Historic Hinckley, our production with Greg Droach, and we'd produced it without the background music. You enjoyed that. I'm glad you did. However, this week, no such treat, but I do have one of our classic films to show you this week, and I've got to make sure I press the right button. Yes, I have. We've had this before, but once again, another one of Stuart Watson. So while you're working on those questions in 6 of the best, you can watch this feature, which he created in the early 1990s. And as we go back in time.
and its immediate closely associated villages have a fascinating historical background of development. However, physical features, many of which are possibly within living memory, have a more significant story to tell, and so to be reminded in pictures of the past and the present, together with some long forgotten events and happenings, may help to determine if it is for better or for worse. With the use of modern digital photography, a comparison of a few scenes from the late 19th and early 20th centuries and images of today, taken where possible on the same spot, will illustrate in many cases the radical developments that have taken place. Perhaps the Church of St Mary's has remained unchanged more than any other, as seen here from a sketch dating from 1850 with its outer boundaries void of trees, but today it's completely surrounded, and in the summer period when the trees are in full foliage, it provides a sheltered area. Just prior to 1905, this photograph taken from above the clock of the church tower. On the lower front left, this photograph shows the Globe Inn, no longer there, and the Midland Bank had been built. The property on the lower right today houses Flavel's the solicitors. The upper floors of the buildings on Regent Street are today reflections of years gone by, with only a few minor alterations having taken place, although at street level new shop frontages have appeared. From the lower portion of the marketplace, a not too different image exists. The George Inn on the right of the picture, although an inn, from here you could hire a carriage for a funeral or wedding, and billions could be played within. It has been replaced with a new hostelry, but the church dominates the overall scene. Semi-pedestrianisation has been installed, and the regular street market features still continue. Unrecognisable with today's scene, the building here has long since been replaced on the corner of Station Road and the marketplace with the HSBC Bank. Throughout this film, many of the photographs show the relaxed atmosphere of people strolling on the trafficless roads. Remembered by many, Hinckley's equivalent of Fortnum and Mason, Simpkin and James, an upmarket delicatessen of the day. The main structure carrying the same upper window design, but the colourful shop frontage fitting to Kentucky Fried Chicken. Close study of the posters in the old shop windows illustrates their pride in selling only British products. I wonder from where today's products come. Turning through 180 degrees and looking down the borough around 1910, past the castle cafeteria, we see in the distance the Union Public House. From this spot, the overall picture has not changed significantly. At the head of the marketplace there existed the Bull's Head Inn and Hotel, a major hotel in the town with 30 rooms and stabling for more than 100 horses to the rear. During the early 19th century, the Prime Minister of England, George Canning, stayed here on one occasion, and he was reported as describing it as the vilest inn in the nastiest town in the dirtiest county that imagination can conceive. A new image has replaced this with currently the Woolwich Building Society offices, and on the first floor level are regular transmissions of the Foss radio programmes. And now a view up Castle Street from around the 1910 era. No problems with traffic and walking on the street. A thriving shopping street with a whole range and variety of shops. As you enter the lower corner, the remaining buildings reflect what did exist. But as you climb up the now pedestrianised street, most have been replaced with new shops and premises. Although in the years prior to the construction of Hollier's Walk and Castle Street was the only through road, traffic jams became very frequent. It's said that in the days of horse-drawn traffic there were often mini disasters with the animals on the steep drop on wet, muddy road conditions. As seen in Victorian days at the junction of Castle Street with Church Walk, but looking down, gives the impression of many more and a wider variety of shops. The upper part of the buildings at the left of this photograph can still be recognised in the current premises of today, and if studied closely, original lead gutterings still exist. Moving to Upper Castle Street, now appearing to be the centre for estate agencies, and in fact in 1778, number 11, the house standing back with double gables was the home of the Hinckley Grammar School prior to its closure. Grim's Lane, renamed New Buildings, has seen many changes, the major one being the removing of the Wesleyan Chapel in 1969 and showing a completely different top to Stockwell Head. The old police station partway down Stockwell Head was replaced in 1937, but the attached magistrates' court, seen here on the extreme left, still remains and in fact houses living style. Maybe the prison cells still exist below. Baptist Walk and the offices of Frank Downs the Builders are a prevailing feature. The junction of Stockwell Head and Council Road was once the factory site of Moore, Eady, Murcott and Good. This building, donated to the town in the 1960s, was completely renovated and produced the ever-popular Concordia Theatre. Constantly being modernised, it's the envy of many other cities and towns throughout the UK. The late 1800s and back into Regent Street, known as Duck Paddle Lane, and semi-rural. On the extreme left of this photograph, poplar trees prior to High Cross being built. The junction with Coventry Road in the far distance. Partway back along Regent Street, Blockley's Yard and other jitties. Millington's Bakery may be remembered, and of recent years Oakley Solicitors, which at one period has evidence of having been a motor garage with two men awaiting for customers to drive in. This sign of the motor garage shows evidence of some enterprising entrepreneur. Across the road at the corner of the Horse Fair and George Street stood Edward's Garage with the charabancs for trips to Leicester and into the country. Having financial success with a small hosiery venture linked with a craft margarine promotion, the Edwards Centre was constructed in the late 1950s. Considered to be one of the oldest photographs of Hinckley, these old Tudor cottages were sold in 1866 to the church authorities. They were then demolished and within 2 years replaced by the Congregational Chapel, officially opened in 1868. A fine building which had concerts with the celebrated contralto Kathleen Ferrier performing. To the rear, in the 17th century, there had been a theatre, in which the balcony had collapsed on 2 occasions. Just visible on the right of the screen, the Congregational Chapel is set back from the shop premises on Regent Street. Still in existence, the chapel, now United Reformed Church, has a completely different variety of shops. Market and horse-drawn transport in the borough around 1905 created a busy atmosphere in the town, and today on market days its popularity is accompanied with the NetWest Bank, which used to be Parr's Bank at Leicestershire, and McDonald's, to mention a few. "1956 saw one of the well-attended carnivals and parades passing along Regent Street from the Congregational Chapel. To the right of the chapel was Orcott's bottling premises, being the locality's representative of Marston's Ales. Around the corner behind the Union pub was the restricted Trinity Lane and the Bluebell lodging house. During the 1930s, the town surveyor Mr. Jack Featherstone was the main architect for town reconstruction and slum clearance. The abolition of the Bluebell to widen the road, leaving the Rutland Arms and in the distance the Dog and Gun. Believed to date from the mid-17th century, these cottages on Lower Bond Street were presented to the town by the Atkins Family Company to create a period museum. Continuous maintenance is necessary, and the museum houses a fine collection of local memorabilia and is open at weekends and bank holidays during the summer each year. In the early 1900s, a few yards further up Bond Street at the junction with the Hollycroft was the Manor House, an isolation sanatorium with boarded up windows believed to prevent the escape of germs. This was demolished in 1934 to create a new police station. This was completed and opened in April 1937 and today is one of the major junctions in the town. Turning left and down the Hollycroft in 1905, we see a typical country lane scene, with grass verges to both sides of the road, but a fine stand of trees on the right, which are part of the Hollycroft Park, opened in 1935. Co-op shops were many around the town, and the traditional ankle-length aprons here from 1906 at the corner of Wells Lane was the Co-op Bakery. The building, with its still functional feature clock, has been well preserved by Sellers funeral undertakers. The Elmley Hotel on Ashby Road has seen very little change since 1920. Although it's had a variety of uses, it's still a distinctive property on this main road into the town. The junction of Derby Road, Leicester Road, New Buildings and Holliers Walk had a major change from the factory of Samuel Davis and Sons, hosiery manufacturers, which used to have within its yards a Wesleyan chapel. Do-it-yourself towards the end of the 20th century saw the emergence of B&Q, but its traffic light system still appears to be the same. Two doors along from De Montfort Street on the Leicester Road in 1921 had the manse stood in rural surroundings, hardly giving the impression of a main road from Leicester through Hinckley to Coventry. Even today, since the construction of the Northern Perimeter Road, this major road is no longer rural but a well-developed area on the eastern approach to Hinckley. The manse, now obstructed by the growth of the fine silver birch trees on its boundaries.
Okay,
Now
we're
to
going
the-
to no, thank you, Stuart. We will have we will go to Barwell next week. That'll teach us. We will do Barwell and O'Shilton next week here on HDPP. I'm just watching the time and stuff, and very much aware that some of you will want a refresher for 6 of the best this evening. We've got a nosy, a brand new nosy tonight, by the way, as well. So ahead of getting that there nosy. And also, you see, tonight I've got to go to bed early because I've got to get up early in the morning. With our trip down to Westminster. So there we go. And we haven't forgot your badge. I've just been talking to Mrs. G about it. HDPP badges. We're going, might as well take a load. You never know. Might be able to sell it to some members of Parliament. I don't know. Right. Okay. 6 of the best. Let's go through those questions again. So let's see where we're getting with it. So the questions I was asking is, besides his practice that was in Church Walk, where in Hinckley did the renowned Dr. Robert Cheshire live? And I guarantee, if you're of a certain age, you would have been sent to this building, and I'll explain why, and I've mentioned it many, many times in the past. You see, this is why it's always best to pay attention. You know, like when you're at school, you know, and you know the teachers told you these things, but you weren't listening. Same thing going on here, really. You've heard the answers to this many, many times. Let's see if you get it right a little bit later on this evening. Question 2, I want to know what 5 colours make up the Olympic rings. And Carol Beasley just asking, are you streaming next Sunday as it's Easter? I think I might do. Because I'm a good egg like that. I'm a good egg. Easter. Good. Moving on to question number 3. Can't believe I did that gag. There's the iconic album from the 1970s. Some people have already got it. Well done if you have got it. Dangerous Den's got it. Anna's got it. Mrs. G's got it. Mr. Smugly come and got it and went again. So, and it is, you would have heard of this, I'm pretty sure, regardless of your, pretty well of your age, really, to be totally honest. But however, there we go. That is an iconic album from the 1970s. Yeah, even Jan Kirby got it. If Jan's getting it, it's too easy. It's too easy. Right. On to question number 4. Would you want you to guess the year when Southampton beat Man United in the cup final? Bill Grundy lost his job after his interview with the Sex Pistols. I remember that so well. And John Curry won the men's figure skating gold medal in the Winter Olympics. What was the year? Has anybody got these 2 gentlemen yet? I'm curious now because this could start a whole new genre of questions now. These 2 gentlemen were seen nightly and through the sort of 60s and the 70s particularly, reading the news. But what were their names? It's a really good one, actually, yeah. Oh, look, Russet's got said, I've got number 5. Well done, Russet. No, seriously, well done. If you got the names for these, you're doing okay. Listen, it's good. Cheeky Paul, says Jan. Well, I'm just saying, if you can do it, Jan, I'm sure many others can do it as well. Here's the anagram question. Now then, Mrs. G has got this now. Chua Glazier grandson hint rotometer. Phew, yeah, that is a mouthful. But we're looking for a famous actor. He's still about today, still making his films and stuff. But his most renowned. I want you to also find the name of his character. Right, okay. Dave B, don't encourage people to use Google image search. Naughty boy. So it's a famous actor and his character that he is so well known for. I mean, he really is. I mean, it is. It's as simple as that. The one particular character. He's done lots and lots of films, but his most famous character, iconic to the end it is. And I don't want to say any more because I shall give it away. Right. Now, Annabelle, no cheating. Dave, you see, you're starting a revolution now. People photographing the screens and saying, who's this? Don't do it. You don't do it. Please don't do it. Okay, then, so that is your 6 of the best this evening. So, I'm delighted to say, actually, just a little bit of exclusive news for you watching this evening. As you know, since last October, I've been campaigning to get Marjorie Payne commemorated in the town, etc. And I'm delighted to say that next week the plaques are being erected in the town. I'm so excited. I'm really pleased with the result. That they're being erected early part of next week. In fact, I think it's going to be tomorrow, actually, according to the latest news I have. One will be erected in Argentsmead, and one will be erected in Hinckley Cemetery. Hence why we went for a walk earlier on, because I need to get some pictures and also to meet Joseph Barsby. We were just double checking everything. So a campaign from HDPP has now put right something that should have been done a long time ago. I'm delighted. I have to put on record, to be totally fair to the council, they've been very supportive in making sure this happens. So I'm not knocking anybody. I'm just saying it's long overdue, but I'm glad it's going to be put right. So even though I'm going to be away tomorrow, otherwise I would have been down there mixing the cement for it. I would. So I shall look forward to going down to seeing the erected plaques in their appropriate positions, and then we're going to organise a little bit of publicity with all the local media and press and stuff. So there you go, it's fantastic. And as Jan Kirby said, they just needed a prompt. Exactly. You wait till I find another subject they're going to have to do. I'm bound to think of something, you know me, and like I say, I don't take no for an answer. It's as simple as that. We're going to do this now. This is what you got to do. You have to tell people what's happening, and that's it. It's good. Anyway, but I'm really proud, and it's HDPP that's brought it all about, which is great. Okay then, nosy time now here on HDPP. If you're in the mood for a nosy, I haven't seen Steve in the groups. Jan Kirby, you're full of prompts. Steve, I haven't seen in the group tonight. So, as I say, whether he's still been out on a late nosy, who knows? But the nosy this week is a good one. I'll make sure. Yeah, I think I'm going to press the right button as well, because I have a couple of buttons to press. Got to make sure I press the right one, you see. And Nosy's very latest nosy. Let's see how he does today. Settle back and enjoy. Oh, yeah, here you are. Just before we go, yeah, Carol, that could very well be my next mission. What about a working clock in Castle Street? Mrs. G and I was only down there the other night, and we were saying, we've got to get a clock, This isn't good enough. We need a clock. And a lot of viewers know that I've mentioned this many times, so you're quite right, Carol. I'm getting the campaign going in my head already. Listen, while I work my campaign out, let's go for a nosy.
Hello, hey up and how you diddling? My name is Steve, and once again it's a great big warm welcome from myself to Let's Explore. Right then, I've brought you back down to King's Mills near Castle Donington in northern Leicestershire. Just down there, that there is the Priest House Hotel, and that body of water there is actually not a river, although it's acting like one at the minute with all the rain we've had the last 24, 48 hours. That is actually the tail race of the King's Mills, which we covered 3 or 4 weeks ago. It was a decent video actually. Can you hear that as well? Sounds like there's a bit of a meeting at Donington Park, but I've brought you back down here today for the simple reason of we're going in search of a former boathouse on the River Trent. Now, that boundary wall there, that is part of the former Donington Park Hall, Donington Hall, which was built in 1790 for Francis Rawdon Hastings, the Earl of Moira, I think he was, so a very long time ago, late 18th century. Now the house is still there, and I think Donington Park Race Circuit actually own it this day and age. Now then, as with most things when it comes to these stately homes, these country piles that were built for the gentry back in the day, everything was elaborate, no expense spared, and they often had these very interesting buildings in the grounds. And this boathouse on the Trent down here was one of them. We need to get over there and up there and on a path that goes down there alongside the River Trent to see if there's any remains of this once glorious boathouse left. Fingers crossed there is. I'm not expecting much, folks, but you know me, I'll certainly have a go and eye. Alrighty then, so what you're looking at here is a fine example of a Gothic style mansion, which was once the centrepiece of Donington Park, the glorious Donington Park. But this place was built between the years 1790 and 1826. I know, 36 years, you can't imagine that, can you, to build a house? But it was built for Francis Rawdon Hastings, the 2nd Earl of Moira, later created the Marquis of Hastings in 1816. So for most people, I think, when they think of Donington Park this day and age, you know, they think about the racing circuit, the Download Festival, and of course, back in the day, the Monsters of Rock, when the likes of, you know, the mighty Bon Jovi and co. used to play there on a regular basis. But of course, it's from 1931 when it was actually turned into a racing circuit. And, you know, when World War II broke out, it was closed in 1939 and actually requisitioned by the Ministry of Defence and was converted into a military vehicle depot and storage area. And this fabulous photo that you're looking at, I assume, was taken in the 1930s of Donington Park. It's a wonderful photograph, and I tell you what, you know, racing cars have come a long, long way since then, haven't they? But when it comes to military, it goes even further back, because from 1902, this park was the property of the Gillies Shields family, and the hall was requisitioned at the start of World War I by the British government and turned into a prisoner of war camp, can you believe, as you can see now from this photograph. So, incredible really. But while interned at Donington Hall in 1915, the German naval pilot Gunther Pluschow, I think that's how you pronounce it, but I'm not sure, made the only successful escape from Britain in either World War. That's amazing, isn't it? And here he is, the man himself, Gunther Pluschow. I really hope I'm saying that correctly. I do apologise if I'm not. But what an extraordinary geezer this was. And he was born in 1886 and he died in 1931. And of course, this chap is the only bloke held captive in Britain during either war that managed to escape back to his native Germany. And it all took place on the outskirts of Castle Donington, at Donington Park. Ain't that extraordinary, folks? Unbelievable. I couldn't believe that when I read up on it. I really couldn't. But he was born in 1886 then, in Munich, Bavaria, and he died in 1931. And of course, he was a German aviator, aerial explorer, and he was an author as well. And he was actually the first man, apparently, to explore and film the Tierra del Fuego, I think that's how you say it, and Patagonia, which is in Argentina, isn't it? I assume the first places as well. But he was actually killed on his second aerial expedition to Patagonia in 1931. So yeah, bless him. It must have been an extraordinary bloke to manage to actually get away from Donington Park. Incredible. Anyway, without any further ado, let's go and try and locate this old boathouse, because this, honestly, it used to be such a grand structure. Let's go for a nosy. Right, so just here, there's going to be a gap in the wall that I'm hoping takes us up to a trail. Well, there's the gap. So we need to head on up here. I'm not sure if this trail is going to be here anymore. It's very slippy underfoot, as you'd expect with the rain that we've had. Very squelchy. Oh bloody hell, God, what's my foot in here? People have been coming up here, I can see footprints, so I'm not the only one. Oh bloody hell. Right, we're up. Right, so I know the river is over that way, so if we carry on up here, this looks like a bit of a path actually. Yeah, it is walked, I can see footprints. Right, this is what we're looking for. This trail, just here, that's what we're looking for. I think that's the one that's marked on the old maps. You know, I've just been thinking to myself, walking down here, you know, the actual cost of Donington Park, the hall, you know, to build it, you look at the average price now of a brand new house to buy it, you're looking at around about 300,000 quid, ain't you, or more. And in 1790, when this place was built, that would have been someone's fortune. You know, it's absolutely balmy, isn't it? You know, absolutely crazy. But we're still very high above the Trent. Now, the only problem that we're actually going to have, I think, in locating the remains, if there are any remains, is the problem is it's risen a bit, the actual Trent. It's not how it was the other week when I came down here. That's the only problem. Right, I've been walking for about 5 minutes now. The trail is now going right down, but you can't see it from here. It's quite a heavy security fence. So this is going to be the furthest point we can get to. You're not going to get very close anyway, are you? Let's be honest about it. They've got security on the main gate. Like I say, they've made sure you can't get in, you know, but we're not interested in going over there anyway. I don't know if security walked this path or not. I've clearly seen some big footprints of a large dog. Right, I've only gone and bloody found it.
Hold it right there, sunshine, because before I go and show you what remains of this once glorious, exquisite, spellbinding boathouse on the banks of the River Trent at Donington Park, I want to show you it first because, you know, what does remain of it is absolutely nothing of its former glorious self. It's a bit sad, really. I really don't know the full story behind this. I don't know why it fell into a ruinous state. I really don't know. I haven't got a Scooby-Doo. But what you're looking at here is an artist's impression of it back in maybe the early 1900s. I think this is actually an old postcard. But you wait till you look at these old photographs. Look at this. Wow. Would you just look at that, eh? What an incredible sight that must have been if you were travelling down the River Trent by boat. Absolutely incredible. You know, this wasn't any old boathouse, folks. This was, I think, a bit of a summer house as well. It's far too elaborate for it just to house a boat, surely. I mean, as you can see, it's got a chimney on it. So I think this would have been used as a place where you could wine and dine people down by the river. I really do. But more incredibly, look in the foreground. Look at that chap there. Now, if you look closely, they look like eel baskets to me, and I know for a fact this is what he was doing actually, because where I got this from off Facebook on the Castle Donington page, the person that shared the photograph does mention this, but I do know that the River Trent in this area was famous for its eels. You know, the actual fishing of eels was very popular back in the day. They were a very popular meat. It's not really something you think about having with your chips now, is it, eel? But incredible. What a fantastic photograph. But that's not all, folks. Look at this. So here's a side view of this once glorious structure, and as you can see there, you've got someone in the foreground sitting on a bit of a bench. I ain't got a Scooby-Doo who that is, by the way. But as you can see, between the water and the structure itself, you've got some steps. Now, there would have been some wooden piers that I imagine go into the water quite a little bit at that point, and we find those a little bit later in the video. Well, what's left of them, they've rotten away considerably. But wow, wow, wow. Once again, this was once a beautiful structure. You know, built to a very high standard by the looks of it. And, you know, these people that lived, you know, at these vast country estates, these parks, you know, they built everything to impress. It was all about impressing everyone and how much power you had and etc, etc. But you wait till you see what's left of it. It's absolutely nothing like this anymore. But as per usual, I was dead excited about what I found because I didn't even expect it to be there. And what I did expect to be there, I thought maybe buried beneath the water. Anyway, without any further ado, you know the drill and the dealio. Let's go for a nosy.
I've only gone and found it, and I knew that's what I'd find. That rectangular shape left behind. I knew I'd find something of it. Wow. Let's go and have a look. Oh, it's very difficult to walk here. I don't know if security walked this path or not. I've clearly seen some big footprints of a large dog. So, but where we got through, you've seen that. doesn't say keep out or anything, so maybe people just walk up and down here. Look at this. So let's do what we love doing the most, and actually go in the Andy Jones and have a butcher's. Look at this. So this was where the actual boat would have been stored. So this could have been built in the late 18th century. Like I say, the hull was built for Hastings in 1790. Wow, look at this. We're walking into history here, folks, and the sun's coming out. It's a beautiful evening in North Leicestershire. Look at this. I mean, I'm sorry if you're sitting there thinking, well, look at what, it's a load of bricks, but this was once a very grand affair, this structure, as you've seen. Yes, we've got that stonework as well. Look at that. Look at that in there. Wow. And just like where me and Dave went at Fisherwick Hall in the last video, they'd actually filled the front in. This is amazing. But why did they knock it down? It was so grand, this was. But yeah, look at this. So, you know, how old are these? These were laid by expert craftsmen, these were. Is it built on the top of stone? Yep. Yeah, the stone beneath. Amazing. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. I know, listen, I know sometimes I go a bit OTT, but I don't know. My love for this runs deep, man. It really does. I'm so proud of our heritage in Leicestershire and beyond. It's not just about Leicestershire, it's about everywhere. Look at that. Absolutely incredible. This has been an itch that I've been wanting to scratch for a few weeks, this has. And I had a window of opportunity this evening because I'm about to go somewhere this evening. And I thought, while I've got a bit of a window, I'll go and see if I can find this boathouse. You know, and I think to myself, why did this end up in a ruinous state with just its bare foundations where the actual boathouse part of it is? Why is that all that remains? You know, why was something so grand as that boathouse not kept and looked after? Right, let's have a look at the front of it. I thought I'd seen something then, but what's this? Yeah, more remains of it. Red brickwork there. I watch I don't fall into the River Trent. I think I'll need more than my 10-metre swimming badge, do you know what I mean? Right. That there. So, boathouse in there. That's where they filled it in there. Sorry, I do appreciate it's hard to make it out. I think this had, from memory, like some sort of wooden veranda at the front. Like I say, it would have looked cock on, this wood down here. It would have looked amazing. Bit of a wooden post there, and maybe more down that side actually, because obviously that's the boat in and out access. It was more than just a boathouse. I think it was a summer house as well. It would have been a beautiful place to come down with your family or your friends, you know, hold a spot of lunch down here, or supper, or your dinner, or even breakfast. Eat, entertain, wine and dine, and then you could go for a little boat ride down the Trent. Well, not when it's in this form anyway. I think you'd have been too fit to, to be honest, but I've just spied some wood in the water down here. Right, look at the other side of there then. Look at that wood sticking up. I think that's part of an area where you could walk, like a wooden jetty, is that the word? Bit of a pier type of structure. And I reckon it come along here. I can't remember without looking at that photo again, because look here, look. I really have got to watch where I'm walking here. I'm daft, don't I? Look at this. So you've got evidence of it in the water there. You've got it literally just there as well. Don't sink in the mud, Stephen. And the boathouse is literally just in there. So yeah, for me, look at that there, that wood. That was all part of this structure. That is so old, that wood, man. So old. You know, a carpenter or someone cut that in a workshop to suit maybe over 200 years ago. Now the thought of that is amazing. I love oak like that. Look at this here. And this bit of a post here that I walked straight by. Has that got anything to do with the boathouse? I really don't know, but the smell of wild garlic down here is so strong. Well, I'm going to end it here, folks. I hope you really enjoyed this little video this evening. As soon as I got down here and found the remains of this, the sun come out. It's been glorious ever since. It's absolutely stunning in North Leicestershire this evening. But I hope you enjoyed this little trip down to this former boathouse. I love this, just how the red brickwork sits on top of the stonework there. It's a glorious sight, to be honest, and I thought if there's going to be anything left of it, that is what we're going to find, unless it's completely filled in. Like I say, this river has got a temper when we have a lot of rain, and it'll wash God knows how many tons of, you know, silt and debris down here near King's Mills, and it would have done that for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And you know, since this has been out of use, I expected if there is going to be remains here, maybe it's filled right up and you can't see anything anymore. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please like, subscribe and share it. And you can bet your last imaginary quid and Rolo I'll be seeing you at the next one. Take care of yourselves. Bye.
And there he was, gone. Steve, he's in the chat room. If you want a quick chat with Steve, you'll find him just sort of here. He's laid in. Apparently he's been Cheshire. Probably been down the gorge. However, no, that's cheddar, isn't it? Anyway, a great notice, Steve. Thank you very much indeed. And as you can see already in the chat room, people loving that one. We like these noses. I mean, Sundays just won't be the same without a good old noser. And I'd even got one in reserve should we have needed it tonight if I didn't have time to download the latest one. But anyway, there you go. We're all done. A slightly shorter programme this evening because, like I say, we've got to go to bed early because tomorrow HDPP is off to the Palace of Westminster. So got to get up early and stuff, be down at the bus station for 8 o'clock in the morning. So hence why I'm going to finish it a little bit early. But before we do all that, I'm wondering how you've been doing with 6 of the best this evening. So let me go now then. Let's go through this and let me just press the right button. Okay, 6 of the best with chat. Here we go. So now remember, don't give me the answer to question 4 when I'm only on question 1 because it gets very confusing. So I've been asking you in our local knowledge question, besides his practicing church walk, where in Hinckley did the renowned Dr. Robert Cheshire live? And he lived in Hinckley. I wonder if anybody was paying attention a few weeks ago when I was talking about this. And I said to you, and I also said the chances are some of you would have gone in Dr. Cheshire's house. David Starborough, congratulations, is spot on, and so is Jan Kirby. London Road, when it was the Youth Employment Office, indeed it used to be that. And well done, Jan, full credit to you. On London Road said it's now Queen's Park Court. Chester Street, says Carol Beasley. Well, Carol Wood, she's from Burbage, Chester Street. I think she means Cheshire Street. No, he didn't live there, but Cheshire Street was named after Dr. Cheshire. And as I say, if you go past the site where Chesterfield House used to be, in London Road, it's now got those new apartments, and there's a big blue plaque on the wall to commemorate Dr. Cheshire's residence when he was there. So that's what we're saying. Okay. So David Allen's got that right now, whether he's waiting for other people. But anyway, London Road near Clarendon House. Oh, we'd like to know where Clarendon House is on London Road. I know where Walton House used to be and stuff, so that's interesting. Okay, we move on. So give yourselves a point if you got that answer there. Now then, this is an easy one. Which 5 colours make up the Olympic rings? And I know you could have all done that. Carol Busy predictive text. I know. Right then, we're looking for the colours. Yeah, here we go. Black, blue, red, green, yellow. Yeah, yes, you're getting this one. You're quite right. It's black, green, blue, yellow, or red, yellow, blue, green, black, or green, blue, yellow, red, or yellow, blue, red, green, black. You know. It's all the same. Yes, Annabelle, what they said. Yeah, exactly. Give yourselves a point if you've got that one. The iconic album from the 1970s. Now then, I know some of you have got this. Come on, let's see. I mean, Mr. Smuggler's not going to get in first. David B comes in with the correct answer. Let's see if anybody else does as well. So does Russet. Well done. The rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, which was, of course, by David Bowie. It is an iconic album, so I've still got mine on CD and stuff, but it was one of the first albums I ever bought, actually. So well done. The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars, which is our iconic album for this week. Who knows what we might do in Find the Words next week? Could be something totally different. Tell me the year then I'm looking for. When Southampton beat Man United, Bill Grundy lost his job and John Curry won the men's figure skating gold medal in the Winter Olympics. What was the year? Russet comes in and everyone's coming. Yes. Jan and David Starnborough and Russet all coming in with the correct answer of 1976. Alan Kropp saying he's never heard of the rise and fall of Ziggy Stardust. I can't believe... Oh dear. Anyway, yes, 1976 is the answer to what year. So well done there. Okay, and now give me the names of these two gentlemen, and I want the exact correct answers for this, please. These two newscasters. Well done, Russet. Well done, Anne. Well done. Yeah. I always remember this, yeah. Jan Kirby, you'll have to play some of it at the disco pool. Oh, yes, I can do that. Yeah. Yeah, quite right. Annabelle says, is that Bob and John? No. We're looking at Andrew Gardner, who's on the left, and Reginald Bosanquet, who's on the right. Sadly, both no longer with us, but iconic newscasters of the time working for ITN. There we go. Well done, Dennis. Yeah, brilliant. Alan Kropp did well. Anyway, he's still going on about his Ziggy Stardust. Okay, question 6. Okay, who's got the anagram then? The anagram, Chua Glazer, grandson, hint rotometer, a famous actor and his character. We're just waiting for that. Oh, and David Starnby just answering the last question. Okay, so we're looking for a famous actor and his character. Jan, you will know this, I guarantee it. Chua Glazer, grandson, hint rotometer. Dennis says, I have no idea. Oh, no, and even Annabelle's playing about with words. She can't do it either. I'll just give it a moment. No idea. I promise you will know this. I promise you. You've surprised me because I thought you would get this. Okay, I'm going to give you the answer in 3, 2, 1. We're looking for Arnold Schwarzenegger and the Terminator. There. I'll be back. That's it. Honestly, that's what it is. Work it out for you. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the Terminator. Told you he's a famous actor and the character. It's all there. Yes, I told you, Jan. I told you so. Well done, David Stumper. He's got 4 tonight. Let's get your scores in. Only half this week. Oh, come on, Kevin. I'm sure that as we switch back here, let's just see what else we've got. I said that to Anna. Oh, yeah, look at this. Best ever, says Russet. 4 tonight. 4 for Alan Slater. Well done, Alan, all the way out there in New Zealand. Annabelle's got 8 tonight. I don't know how she manages it, but she does. Alan says a measly 1 tonight. Jan Kirby. I was thinking of British actors. I love it. I didn't say. I just said it was a famous actor. I can't. Well, there you go. Anyway, Jeff says 3.5 for us tonight, and David Allen says 2 for me. And Queen Bee's only got 2 tonight. Okay, so it's looking like Dennis has got 5 tonight. Well done. And Annabelle said, I've got my smug powder. That's why. Yeah, she has. You can get your smug powder. The procrastinator. I'll be back maybe. David B, what are you like? Okay, well, it's been a good night, hasn't it? And like I say, we're finishing a little bit earlier than normal. Like I say, we've got to get up early in the morning, and I've got to have another bath, whether I need it or not. So I should be, but we will come back next week. We'll do something for Easter, and oh, by the way, why I remember, don't forget the social night Wednesday night. That's this coming Wednesday. A nice little evening, actually, because we've got Dale Smith coming to talk about the threat of the Asian hornets. It's going to affect all of us. So we need to know how we can help and report these things. It's only a short presentation, but I think very important too. I'm going to do a walk down Castle Street as well, and I might even give you a little walk round Parliament if I'm allowed to take pictures. We'll see if I get a chance on the night. But it's good. Anyway, that just about wraps it up from us from this side of Easter, as it were. We'll be back next Sunday night at the same time, and I hope indeed that we can see you on Wednesday night. Looking forward to Wednesday night, and we'll be telling you all about how we get on tomorrow night. So until then, for those of you that are coming on the trip tomorrow, remember, be there for 8 o'clock. Timing is very important, and if by chance you, like I say, when we leave London, we're not waiting. Trust me, once I'm on the bus, right, we'll go. So please, don't be late for getting back on the bus, because if you are, we won't wait. Time is time. Just thought I'd put that out there. Okay then. So have a great night, and if you're with us tomorrow, looking forward to being in your company tomorrow, and see you on Wednesday night, and we'll be back next week here on HDPP. Remember to keep it live, keep it HDP. Until then, take care. Ta-da. Well, no. Listen, I have just got a little bit of time just to give you a couple of dad jokes to send you off to bed with a little smile on your face. Here we go. What do you call a woman who sounds like an ambulance? Nina. Nina. I like that. I like that. Welcome to the Plastic Surgery Addiction Support Group. I see a lot of new faces around. Here's a question for you. If you're at an Apple store when it gets robbed, does that make you an eyewitness? And finally, my wife broke up with me recently because I'm a compulsive gambler. All I can think about is how to win her back. See you soon. Take care. Good night.